Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar, and we're going to talk about doing good crowdfund updates. Things I've seen that I really like. And this one's kind of unique. So this is going to be for RAGs, specifically the development of issue 9, which there were some bumps. I don't want to pretend that there weren't any bumps, but they did something really cool that I think deserves highlighting because I haven't seen it a lot. Typically, when you have a Patreon, you get an update post with like a single thing of updates in it, or you get a Patreon post where somebody's like developing a product or something, as opposed to just doing some art, and they will like bundle up like, hey, here's this month's worth of blah, and send it to you. Well, the way the Rags Patreon did issue 9, once these updates started coming out, is a little bit different. So when this stuff started coming out, there was an update that said, hey, go to the storefront, enter the top secret Patreon stuff, and quote, and this is quotes, buy, end quote, the book for $0. Okay? So you go do that. You know, that first email I got in, I went, I did it. I think this is the very first one right here, version 0.01. And you downloaded it and started going through it. And it's all like line art and stuff. A couple places where there's like a blank page here, but you can see the product's going to be 30 pages long. We come down here, we got down to page 19, and then all the rest placeholders. Okay? So we have a very early draft of the product that's incomplete. Let's go to the next one that I got. And I don't know if this is all the ones that got pushed out as updates through the storefront. But the neat thing is here, I will see like an update from a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and if I'm not particularly interested in it, I just file it away in the appropriate folder in my email. This way, storefront, when an update is made, sends me an email saying, yo, that thing you purchased for money has an update. Go download it. Here's a direct link. Click the link, you get the book. Super easy. Much harder for me to ignore because it's a direct reminder that there was a store, an exchange of cash involved in this process. Now, granted, that exchange of cash was the Patreon fee. But Lord help me, I ignore Patreon updates all the time. Maybe that's bad on me. I don't know. So I got an update email, and it was like, hey, here's version 0.03. All right, we scroll through. We can see we've got some pages with colors. We still have that one placeholder. All right. Version 04. More of the same. We see more things are filled in. Scroll down here, and we got some pages filled in the material that was after that breakpoint we'd identified earlier. So the book is getting filled in. More and more of it. At some point, we start getting a naughty pinup in the book, which I think it's technically like safe, but I don't want to risk it because YouTube's evil. But okay, so this one's not it. And you can see like here's a little placeholder thing right there, Bun Shop Part 2. All right. Scroll down. Yeah, we want to skip this and go to page 4. Okay. And if we scroll down from here, we can see more and more content is getting put into the book. More of it's colored instead of just being in line art. Lots of crazy stuff looks like it's happening. There's some more back matter involved. Let's go to page 4 again and skip that pinup. And we can just like zip down here. And you see, like the book is becoming more and more complete. Like this was 2 separate pages. Now it's combined into one. Boom. There's a reason I keep going to page 4. It's not just the pinup. It's because, boom, right there, I wanted to catch this really cool thing. So not only do we have the content of the book getting filled out more and more, but the presentation of the book is getting upgraded step by step by step and improving bit by bit. It's pretty cool, huh? And then the very last update, I'm not going to scroll through this one, but it's what we started out with. There's trade dress on the front cover instead of it just being this red runway or red carpeted runway type thing. One of the great joys of crowdfunds is being able to follow the progress of what is being worked on, of what you've purchased. You know, you're invested in the game. You're there, you're watching it, you're getting your periodic updates, right? Well, sometimes those periodic updates, like I said, I just file them off into a folder and I never look at them. This is much harder for me to ignore. Every time there's an update here, I'm very conscious of the update, and I get the book and I scroll through and I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're doing. Oh, hey, look at that. That caught my eye. It's a different way to do it. And I don't know that it works for every model. I don't know that you would want to do this for a Kickstarter and release a bunch of half-finished PDFs or something out there. That seems like that would get messy quick. But for this particular use case, with this particular group, I have found this to be a really fun way to follow along with what's being done on the current issue. There you go. Good Patreon updates, and I'm not even talking about the actual updates on Patreon. I'm talking about like the mechanism outside of Patreon that's updating me about information about my Patreon and the Patreon I'm subscribed to, and it's working really well for me. We'll talk about another case or two later on in a separate video about some other people that I think are doing updates really well. But I wanted to get this out there, even though it's like almost 1 in the morning, just to get my thoughts out of my head because this is really cool. And I thought, hey, somebody might learn something from this. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.